I'm going to go and try and grab the book.
You want to run in and try and grab it.
Yeah,
So at this point, it's completely under the water. You no longer have line of sight on it.
I'm going to go diving for it.
You want to dive into the water?
Yeah,
Right, okay. How deep? Are you going to properly
yeah.
underneath?
I'm going to try and judge it
Yeah.
from the. It's like it's speed it descending into the water.
Mhm. Okay. So as jump, you jump in a beautiful lion-like arc, um, and find yourself submerged in the water, kind of just before where the hands were, and you can see them kind of beginning to recede. And as your eyes follow the hands, you see that they are attached to um, what's kind of well, you've got dark vision actually. First of all, as you land and you look down, it seems that the water continues almost indefinitely. Just to the point where it's just obsidian black in all directions. Even with your dark vision, as it reaches the kind of, I think it's 60 feet or 120 feet, it seems to just continue. And you look up, you can see kind of 10 to 15 feet below where the water line was, as um, a grey stone kind of circular platform that feeds directly down. So this kind of cylindrical thing that props up from the darkness into the center of the pool. And as you kind of your eyes follow that up to where the skeletal hands were, you can see this colossal shifting form of darkness. These kind of soaked, tattered, dark robes that are clinging to this form comprised of flesh and bone. As you kind of gaze upon it, you can see these two glowing green eyes pierce into yours as its hands recede. It clasps the book and seems to kind of affix it within its person, kind of almost up inside its ribcage. The robes are kind of blackened. They're dark greens and and purples, but they're so rotted and decaying and soaked, having been exposed to the elements, or been submerged for as long as it has been. Um, that's what you're faced with. Immediately in front of you, you can see this um, horrific being. As you're kind of looking at the eyes, you can see what remains of the skin is pulled tight to the bone. There's no lips. There's no lips. There's no eyelids. It's just teeth. Um, Similarly for the hair, all you can see is like what remains of what would have been hair, kind of swirling in water. This kind of, it looks like it would have been black or dark brown at one point. It's just kind of fragments of hair of what looks like some kind of undead being.
What an
And it
attractive
just
gentleman. Um,
with the rest of your turn.
I would like to swim back up and try and get out the pool. I'll send
Right,
my.
okay.
Well, as I'm swimming though, I'll get my hound to jump underneath me and try. How far down is it?
Is it?
Like the
So
the
it's only 15 feet away from like the edge. So you jumped in.
is it underwater though?
And
Still underwater, right?
it's submerged
Yeah.
under the water.
Um,
So it's kind of, it was standing on this kind of this cylinder, I guess, this
yeah.
pedestal, with its hands reaching just above the
Ah,
waterline,
okay.
going
Yeah, yeah.
presenting it to the wild. So when you attacked it, and it kind of was roused, and
Yeah.
as its hands receded below the water, it pushed the book within its rib cage, um, and then you jumped in the water and seen it, whatever it may be.
I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna get out the water. The hound's gonna stay in for the time being.
Right. Okay. So jumping, that half your movement.
Yeah.
Was that an action?
No, I think that's an action, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's an action.
I think it would be your full turn to get in and then back out.
That's fine.
Okay, so as your turn concludes, you can feel the air in here become even more intensely heated. The water across the entirety of the pool is now bubbling to the point of boiling, and you can see this being begin to rise up to the surface, to the point that is completely exposed. You can see the book and its ribcage now covered in the soaking fabrics, as its green eyes glowing within its skull gaze at you. It's difficult to ascertain emotions based on the face, but you can probably guess it's probably upset.
I'm
Probably
going to go for
upset.
Hail Mary. And
But it's fun.
am going to shout Balderdash to get the hound to start barking.
Well, it's not your turn yet.
Oh, okay.
He still needs to act.
Damn.
So he is going to step forward, and you see as he's walking towards you, he's kind of standing upon the water that's currently boiling around him. And as he gets close, he is going to attempt to use paralyzing touch.
Kinky.
7 plus 6 for 13.
Yeah, my AC's 12.
Oh. Okay. Can you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
$17.
That's going to be 6, 7, 13 points of cold damage, and you avoid being paralyzed for 1 minute. So he reaches out and attempts to kind of grapple you, and as you kind of manage to kind of move somewhat out of the way, he still kind of gets some of your shoulder, and you just feel this of freezing cold cover your person. Your robes that are kind of soaking wet start to like frost over and turn to ice. And you can kind of feel your body wanting to go rigid, but you manage to shake it off and take a step back. That is his turn.
So, I'm going to cast Invisibility.
Okay.
I'm going to move my full distance away to the back corner of the room. Actually,
Right,
no.
okay.
I'll go to the front corner of the room to like the entrance. I can move 35 feet.
So you're kind of standing at the entrance at the moment
Okay.
with him directly in front of you. So this room's about 50 feet long. So to your left is 25 feet, to your right is 25 feet.
I'll
To your
move
right,
to I'll move to the left
long
side
is-
of the room against the wall,
Right, okay.
and then I'm
Um,
going to get
Mhm.
the hound to go to away like to behind where he is from the entrance, and I'm going to get him to start barking.
Right, okay.
And that's my turn.
That's your turn. So you moved out the way, you're invisible. And the hound's standing in front of him barking.
Behind him barking. Like
Behind
as
him
in,
barking.
yeah, aye. Let's see if I can tip some gargoyles in.
So he is going to uh, he's going to make an attack roll against the hound. Because he doesn't know where you've went. So we get 12 plus 6.
I'd imagine that would hit.
18. Yeah, I think. Does it have your AC? Did we resolve that?
No, I don't think so. I would imagine it's going to hit anyway, right? But would we be doing it with disadvantage or not?
No, he can see him.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait, no, sorry, he's invisible as well.
Yeah.
My apologies. It's a 13 plus 6 anyway, so it would hit regardless.
Yeah.
Right. So 3, 6, 10. So you watch as this reaches out and kind of grabs the the invisible dog by the neck, so you can just kind of see the hand grasping onto something, and you just hear this as it kind of bursts into ice, and his hands kind of goes where it was. He stands up and looks around the room. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to leave. I am getting
Get
the
past
out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to leave where I came in, still invisible. But I don't want to dash because I don't want to potentially make any sound.
Stealth, I suppose.
Yeah.
To hide.
I get 22 for stealth.
Oh, 22, nice. So you, I mean, you could use your action to dash, and that you double your movement speed, but you don't need to do it quickly.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I would say. I think that's pretty fair. Or is it an action to hide, actually? You're invisible.
Yeah, I don't really try to hide though. Like,
Trying to be discreet. So you kind of use your movement, you kind of, because he's kind of between you and the exit, he's standing on the edge of the pool, and you're kind of invisible, moving up the corridor. So you're standing at the fires, 25 feet. What's your movement? 30?
35 feet.
35 feet. So you move 35 feet would take you into the corridor, and then further back up into the room that was holding the gargoyles. And as you're kind of approaching the room, you can kind of see like they're beginning to like reset themselves back into position. It looks like they were agitated by something, but because it stopped, they resumed their position. So yeah, as you disappear down the corridor, again, he doesn't know exactly where you are. So all you would see from where you are is both doors on the entranceway closing behind you.
Okay.
That's what you would say.
Well, I don't need that fireball then. Yeah, I'm going to just leave whilst invisible. Even Necro Phil, with the confidence that he has with his thirst for knowledge, is not going to try and take on a big fuck off 9-foot skeleton with a tome in its ribcage with nobody to help him. He's just gone, man. Time to leave. We'll come back another day. Let's call it a day, boys.
Pass. We out. Okay, sure. Do you want to do anything?
There's more tomes out there. Don't worry about it. Find another one.
We're a tome another day, boys and girls.
No, I'm just gonna make my I'm gonna make my way out. Back out where I came from.
Right, okay. Did you do anything on your way out?
No, I don't think so. Avoid those traps on the way out.
Traps?
Okay,
so you pass through the room with the gargoyles. Sadly, invisibly. Seeming no response. You wander past the kind of ashen environment. As you're passing through the chamber that was housing the skeleton which you disintegrated, can you make a perception check, please?
15.
The 15. Assuming you're not running out of the room, your languages spell still active?
I think it was an hour. Let me have a look.
An hour? This is probably less than an hour.
Let me check.
Still be.
Yeah, 1 hour.
Okay. As you're walking through, you can see inscribed in symbols on both the pillars in that room the words "life bound to bone."
Life bound to bone.
Yeah, life bound to bone.
In the gargoyle room.
In the room before the gargoyle room, the one that had the large skeleton that you
Oh, right, I see.
separated. That one's 2 pillars, each of a similar grey stone as the rest of it. And etched on the side of it are the words "Life bound to bone."
I mean, that suggests to me I need to sacrifice something to get that tome, and I don't have anything to sacrifice. Unless I animate another skeleton. Life bound to bone. Yeah, okay. So can I find any skeletons nearby? Well, there's that one that crushed by those gargoyles, right?
Yeah, there's the remnants of that one. Not quite in dust, but in pieces, as it was decimated by the gargoyles.
How much sound does an animate dead spell?
We need to say there's verbal components. But you can't animate it if it's already decimated.
Is it decimated?
Yeah, yes, in pieces.
Okay. Are there any other skeletons?
Not throughout the caverns, no, they're relatively clean.
I'd like to make my way back outside and see if I can find another skeleton.
Okay. So as you're wandering outside, you find yourself the front door. As you're getting closer to it, you notice that it's significantly more closed than it was before. While it was wide open when you initially did it, it seems to be like it's very slowly closing itself.
Okay.
It seems you were on a clock of some description before being sealed in this chamber. You step outside.
Yeah. I can't believe I've lost this tome to getting my skeleton to hit a gargoyle in the face for zero reason whatsoever.
You got a ring. You did get a ring.
That basically sums up our group though, doesn't it? Doing stupid things and wasting opportunities.
I mean, essentially, yeah, that's basically how it is. So you get outside. You're standing in the same mud pit. The trees, but given that there's no tree density, so this area is lit much better than the rest of the forest was. You would have set out pretty early in the morning. You've only been travelling for maybe 6 or 7 hours, so there is still sun in the sky lighting up the area that you're standing in.
Is the entrance still closing?
Very slowly. You can probably guess you maybe have another half hour, 45 minutes. Based on how long you've been in there and how closed the door is.
Okay. So can I find another skeleton to animate?
You can go digging about. Yeah, make an investigation check because you start kind of digging around.
17.
With a 17, we'll say with the 17, as you're kind of digging around the entrance, you can find bits of some. You could. I'll give you. So with a 17, you would probably. Well, how long are you taking to do this? You try to do this very quickly, or are you taking some time?
Try to do it pretty quickly if I'm on a clock. I'd say 5 minutes.
Say 5 minutes. Let's say with 5 minutes, you'd probably be able to uncover a skeleton and a half, essentially, so you can find what would be the upper torso of a skeleton, which already has half of one of its arms. It looks like twisted off, and another complete skeleton.
Okay.
Even though the skeleton itself, which is complete, it looks like is somewhat battle worn. Looks like it's when it was alive, it suffered somewhat.
I'm going to use Scroll of Animate Dead in it. In fact, yeah. I don't really have the time to be continuously looking for skeletons. So I'm going to use the Scroll of Animate Dead.
How many can you animate?
4.
4 at the once?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So you attempt to conjure the two skeletons. Um, successfully so one of them rises up and then kind of stands looking at you expectantly. The other one, given that it's only half, kind of, it's like a zombie in Call of Duty
Okay.
kind of a thing, kind of drags itself along the ground.
Okay. Can I carry that one?
Well, I mean, it can crawl itself. It's just going to move slower,
Yeah, but it's got to set off these traps, isn't it?
potentially. Yeah.
I don't know if I need that one. He's just going to stay at the entrance. I'm going to take the one that can walk.
Okay.
Not that I'm ableist.
Not that you're able.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna, and I'm going to try and guide him around the traps, so he doesn't set them off.
Easy to do at this point. You've already kind of identified where everything is, really.
And then I'm going to lead him back to all the way through, back to the door where the tome was.
Okay. As you're getting closer to it, you can feel the heat in the air as you're kind of going down the ramp towards the door. You can again, similar to like a very putrid sauna, the air's filled with that steam. That the water had been given off since this being awoke. And
Okay.
so you get to the door.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to send the skeleton to the door and get the skeleton to go in.
Okay. So as you're going down, you can see like the steam has kind of created condensation on the stone ceiling, which is, and it kind of drips and catches you in like a bit of cold condensation that drips down the back of your neck, and you can almost feel the dirt.
What did that message say again? Through something life and bones.
Life bound to bone.
Yeah, I'm going to send the skeleton in. Is the creature still like? Is it still out, or is it submerged again?
So are you going with the skeleton?
Yeah, but like maybe like 5 feet behind it. Or I'd say that 5 feet behind it, so I can still see. But I want to see
Okay.
to go in first.
Yeah. So as you're wandering down, the skeleton opens the door, leaves it open so you can see in.
Yeah.
So as you're looking in, you can't see it anymore. It doesn't appear to be in the centre of the room or within your line of sight.
And there's no hands with the tome.
No, not in the centre of the room. No.
Gonna get the skeleton and go further in.
Okay. The skeleton kind of looks around. Doesn't see much of anything. Seemingly no response for the room, but it's reached the point where it's almost difficult to see in there because of the intensity of the steam.
I'm gonna send the skeleton into the water.
Right, okay. So the skeleton disappears below the surface of the water.
Does anything happen?
Seemingly no response. Give me an intelligence check.
21.
With a 21. You're conscious of the importance of sacrifice. To
Yeah.
people like this, and particularly necromancy.
Yeah, I don't have anything to sacrifice though.
Yeah. What a hilarious sentence. Fuck, I wish I'd brought something to sacrifice. like I wish I'd brought a packed lunch.
See, I don't know how, like, when that door closes, I don't know if I'm going to be able to just do what I did again and it open, so this could be my only chance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I also don't know how much I need to sacrifice. Do I need to sacrifice a life? I sacrifice a finger? I don't know. Sacrifice my genitals?
I mean, you can always chop your cock off and throw it in there and see what happens. Let's see what happens. At this point, similarly to before, you feel the heat in the room begin to intensify as the bubbling on the surface of the water begins to increase, and from the same position that it was previously, you see the being begin to rise up from the water, reset as it was.
Is my skeleton there?
No, your skeleton. Bloop. I suppose you could command him to swim, I suppose.
But is the full being rising, or just the hands with the tome?
The full being. The tome is within his ribs.
Yeah, man, I'm getting out of here. I don't have the resources for this. I don't have the capital.
Do you want? Like, you can have a conversation.
I do not have the capacity. Yeah, I'm leaving. Time to leave.
Fair enough.
Do I leave? Nah.
As you're kind of trapped in indecision, like looking at where you came from, and this being as it raises up, you hear a kind of almost surprisingly rhythmic voice kind of break through the steam and catch you by surprise as the being, as it's coming out the water, kind of gently says, "You enter the chamber of Morgar. You bring no tribute. Attack me in my slumber. Who are you? Why are you here? Explain yourself."
Well, hello, good sir. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Necrophil. I am looking for the Tome of Clear Thought, which I believe is in you, good sir's ribcage.
The Tome of Clear Thought. You misunderstand. This is the Codex Mortivar that I bear within my person.
Well, it appears as being a misunderstanding. Goodbye, sir. No, kidding on.
well, see you later.
What does the Codex do?
Make a quick history check.
Nine.
With a 9? That sounds like a cool name for a book, man.
Cool name for a band.
That's a cool metal band.
Yeah. Does he not respond when I ask him? What is?
Oh, do you ask him? I thought you were asking him.
Yeah. No. I was asking him.
Persuasion, please.
19. No, sorry.
With a 19.
No, 18.
18. With 18, you kind of call out asking what the book is, and almost kind of entertained by your presence, he responds, "The Codex, an ancient tome, carried by my peoples. Every 100 years, this tome will grant a user advanced arcana, affords them additional opportunities, but at a cost."
What is the cost?
The cost varies depending on the individual and the tome itself. This is no ordinary book. Everything worth value has a cost.
What cost would you demand from me to get the succulent goods within that book?
You wish to take the book from me? To leave this chamber?
Yes.
You may have strength within necromancy itself, but that means nothing. I require flesh.
How much flesh?
You come alone. Strange. Had you brought tribute? Perhaps you could have satisfied it with them. From you? Give me your arm, and I will give you the tome.
Counter offer. But what if I give you a foot for the tome?
A foot.
It's a very, very nice foot.
Interesting.
I take my shoe off, my sock off, and I show him it. Start wiggling those little toesies.
Maybe a persuasion check.
this is the biggest roll in the entire session. Oh, 14.
With a 14. With a 14, he looks at your foot and then looks at you. A foot isn't a sacrifice. A real man would give up his arm for power. That is what I require. You wish to prove yourself to me. You wish to carry on the magics which I protect. You would sacrifice an arm.
I bow to him and accept.
As you kind of lean down and bow, he kind of responds in kind. Similarly. And reaches out kind of his colossal skeletal hand.
I place my left arm in it.
Okay. As you're left, before you even kind of get an opportunity to react...
The ring's
as
on
your
my right
arm-
hand, by the way. Just for clarity.
On your right hand?
The ring...
So as you do that, his hand clasps around yours and you feel yourself like almost jolted. That's your left arm. Like kind of jolted to the point you're almost being pulled into the water with which he's standing. And you see kind of black veins kind of emit from his skeletal and run along yours, and you feel this horrific, kind of agonizing, piercing pain run up your arm and kind of almost across your torso. As you watch your arm just begin to pulse with this black magic, and you watch as it starts to shrivel and decay to the point that it becomes skeletal, and you watch it and then he rips it off your person, leaving it's sealed and not bleeding, but this kind of darkened necrotic flesh, whilst no longer rotting, is kind of blackened. And as he rips it off and casts it into the body of water, he bows deeper and reaches in within his chest and pulls out what looks like a tome wrapped in purplish leather, bound with kind of silver bracings around the perimeter, with a large kind of silverish lock. And he, as he bows deep, he reaches out, pass it to you.
What's it called?
It is called the Codex Mortivar. It acts the same way as the one that you mentioned previously, the Tome of Clear Thought, was it?
Okay.
Mechanically, it's the Tome of Clear Thought,
Okay.
but within this world, it is the Codex Mortiva. So it's not exclusively just for the specifics that we mentioned. There may be something else going on in there as well. So as he passes the book to you, he raises up, kind of stands top, and then directs you to his left, which would be your right, which is the door where you found the teleportation sigil.
Okay.
So you take, it's going to be 16 points of damage.
16.
16.
Okay.
But you're not bleeding. The wound is sealed, albeit you no longer have a left arm.
A sacrifice well worth making.
Would you like to do that? At this point, you can hear a echo throughout the chamber as the door at the front of the building is sealed.
I'm going to go to the teleportation scroll.
So as you wander
Circle.
through to the room where the teleportation sigil was, you watch as it seems to pulse to life with a kind of darkish.
Before I go, I want to ask the skeleton, like, what is your name?
My name is Morgar. This is my chamber.
And how did you? What's your purpose here? Is it just to protect the tome, or are you here for any other reason?
I am here. I am here to maintain the Codex Mortivar until it found another user of value. I am bound to this place.
So are you free to leave now?
My role as guardian has been completed. My next task is my own.
Well, if you find any other cool shit, and you need some sacrifices, you know where to find me. And I leave.
Just add on Facebook. Drop me a DM.
Definitely not goblins.
No, definitely not. Your sacrifice was more than adequate, Lionel. Enjoy your journey. We may meet again. Goodbye. And as you step into the circle, you watch as you can kind of see him walk back to where he was previously, and start to sink back into the water. So you step into the teleportation circle and immediately engulfed, and you just feel this kind of horrific. It's almost like kind of like being on a roller coaster, and you're feeling the G's of force kind of like pulls your stomach, almost into your rib cage as you're being forced through this magical vault. And you find yourself standing at the entrance in the same basin of mud. As you're standing there, you look up at the tree line where you now need to go. The sun at this point is beginning to set, and darkness is taking over the basin, and you see shifting and movement around the tree line of the basin. And as you're doing that, you see these robed beings jump from. You're surrounded by about 30 of these individuals. One at the front steps forward, throws his hood off, and looks at you. Looks at the tome that you're carrying in your right hand, and your the left, with which is missing. Kind of gives you a kind of similar bow the Morgan gave you of acknowledgement, and all the others follow. As you're getting a closer look, it looks kind of like a human male, kind of short, dark brown hair. There are kind of, it looks like almost tribal style painting across his face. As he's looking upon you, is there anything you want to do?
But I bow back to him. I say, and who might you be?
Seemingly no response. He's kind of looking at you and then looking at everyone around you. Doesn't seem to say anything.
Okay. I'm going to reach out my hand and say, well, if that'll be all, go to shake his hand, see if he shakes it.
So as you reach out to shake your hand, he reaches out and grabs yours. Kind of gives a similar bow.
I reach out with my left hand by accident.
He's like, all of a sudden he's like, and as you're now kind of within distance, he kind of leans in and gently whispers to you. We are the Revan-Karth, wardens of the Silent Tome. Come with us. It seems we are your destiny.
Okay.
You wish to unlock the secret of which you have found.
Yes.
Work with us. Join us. We require individuals of your inclination. You wish to grow powerful?
Yes.
Join us. Become a member of the Revan-Karth.
But what is it exactly you can offer me?
We offer you advancement. You wish to learn the art of necromancy. You wish to learn the magics that are whispered in the darkness. That which has been forbidden across schools throughout the continent.
Can I roll insight to see if he's lying to me?
Yeah.
18.
With an 18, seems to be above board.
Am I?
You get the impression that if they'd wanted to, they probably could have killed you in your weakened state. They have the numbers in the action economy to do so. If they wanted to take your tome, they probably could have.
Lead the way. If this is the way.
So be it. That's the way. What is your name?
What was that, sir?
What is your name?
Necro. Phil.
Necro. I am Arna.
Arna.
Arna. Join us.
I bow to him.
Let us go. He's similar. And then starts to back away. Kind of like turning around and letting you follow them. Looks to the individuals to his left and to his right. They climb up onto back to kind of the basin where you were and walk up to what looks like a large tree. One of the individuals who isn't Arna steps forward and you kind of doing some the words escape me. It says an incantation. You can see them kind of tracing arcana or arcane letters in the air, and you watch as the tree rips open and kind of starts to pull the air. You can kind of, you're almost kind of sucked off your feet. As this kind of chamber of purplish energy appears in front of you, and they'll jump in. As Arna looks towards you and then jumps in also.
Yep, I'll jump in.
This is but the beginning of your journey, Necro. Let us go. And as you jump in, you feel the tree behind you, and you you find yourself standing on what looks like a kind of an ancient dark grey castle, surrounded by these individuals, as they all kind of acknowledge you with a level of praise and kind of almost admiration that you didn't expect. Um, and as you reach up, feel for your missing arm, look towards what's now the moon in the sky, and you kind of feel the tome with which you gave up your arm for. Um, how do you feel?
How do I feel?
How does Necro feel?
To be honest, pretty fucking proud. Pretty proud of what he's achieved. He's got a new sense of clarity. So he's more intelligent, more able to understand things. Pretty excited about finding new knowledge. These people seem to know their stuff. So, yeah, pretty excited about the future. So thank you everyone for joining us on this first edition of our new character introduction series. If anybody wants to see how I built Necrophil, I can do a separate video where we will explore that, and I'll go into all the details of what I did to create the character. Also, anybody that has enjoyed this, please subscribe, please follow us on Instagram at definitely not goblins _. And if you're interested in what we're doing in the future, we have a newsletter that you can sign up to on our website at definitely_not_goblins.com. So goodbye from me, and goodbye from Rob, and thank you everybody for joining us.
Thanks, guys.